This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. Of course, every day is a beautiful day when you're above ground and upright. It's all that matters. Let's go ahead and bring on our co-host. First of all, we have Mr. Dolphin Winters. How you doing, my brother?
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, everyone. How you guys doing today? How you feeling?
I'm here. I'm above ground and upright. Like I said, it's all that matters.
I hear you.
Let's bring on the bearded wonder, Mr. John O'Hanlon.
What's up, guys? Good Sunday morning. How are you?
What's up, John? How you feeling, brother?
Not bad. Went to breakfast, did a little shopping. The wife and I are headed home. I got to stop and get my Dunkin' and go home.
All right.
Dolphin Winters sounds like he's still sleeping.
I am. I'm not even going to lie to you. I am.
Let's bring up the queen, Miss Pamela Carnes.
Hello,
What's
my
up, Miss Pam?
fellas.
We know Miss Pam's still sleeping because she's hiding behind her picture.
I'm hiding behind my picture. I sure am. I got a big cup of coffee and a puppy right by me. I'm good.
Well, let's say good morning to Timothy and Lisa on YouTube joining in with us. We appreciate you guys.
Hey, Tim.
Mike
Hey,
K.
Lisa.
Sherrod just joined us on Facebook. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, Mike K.
Well, I do want to bring up a little something, which I looked up. I mean, the defense, a couple players on defense did do well. David Long actually had 11 tackles, 9 solos. And there was another one, let me find it real quick, that has potential to be coming out more. Jordan Brooks.
Oh, he looked good. Yep.
He actually had 6 tackles, 4 solo.
A lot of times when there was a big play being made, you saw Brooks around the ball.
I mean, both those guys, 11 tackles, 9 solo for Long. I mean, that's a lot of solo tackles for one guy, in a game. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot more tackles at times, but for the way the game was played, and if you look at the stats, the stats actually show that going by the stats, we should have won, but we never scored. We had all the yardage, and stats can be skewed, can skew a game very easily. We had all the yardage, we had everything. We just couldn't score in the red zone. And the 3 turnovers don't help at all.
Right.
Or all the flags.
Right.
Oh my Lord, the flags. But yeah, their offense didn't really have to score much either.
No, it was their defense did all the scoring.
Yeah, kept handing them stuff.
Well, no. You got to understand, they scored 17 points off of defense, and they scored the rest of the points off of offense. So it's actually a balanced attack against us. They
Well,
methodically went down the field on us the first drive like it was nothing.
right.
They came in there, they came in that building, they came into the Hard Rock fully prepared, and we were not. We were not prepared for that game, folks. There's no excuses for that. You could just see after the first interception, it just seemed like that. It just seemed like the energy was not there. It wasn't there. I don't know what it was. I just sat there after the first drive. It looked like they just tucked their tails behind between their legs and was like, okay, enough. No. Well, like, what happened?
Pumpkin. Extra pumpkin.
So,
Good morning, Scotty and AP Ryan.
hey, Scotty. Hey, AP. So one of the things I was thinking about that game was the number of times, of course, that our offense put our defense in such a bad spot. And so when we were talking about who really played hard, I was hesitant to just point out HN because there were other guys, and I specifically had said some guys on defense. And Papa Paul, I really appreciate you bringing out those two names because I couldn't think who it was. But you're exactly right. Long and Brooks. I mean, they played really well. They were out there hustling. They were around the play. What I think is kind of shocking is how many, especially Long, solo tackles he had. Why is he over there by himself?
Yeah, well, I just want to go over a little bit of the box score stats and everything. We had 75 total plays. They only had 45. We had 351 yards. They had 247. Now, penalties, they only had one penalty for 5 yards. We had 7 for 50, which is less than half of what we had last on Sunday, but it's still too many. We had 3 turnovers. They had none. We were about 45% efficiency on third down efficiency. They were 33%. And fourth down efficiency, we were only 1 for 5, where they were 1 and 1. Passing, we had 212 yards passing. They only had 139 yards passing.
Well, let me ask you, Papa Paul, when you have that passing stat like that, do they take away yards for the interceptions? You know, like they'll do that on running backs. You know, if they lose yards, they'll take away.
No.
Okay.
No.
So that was true passing yards.
Now, this is what gets me. Rushing, we had 34 attempts, 139 yards, and about 89, I think it was 79 or 89 yards of rushing was a champ.
Yeah.
He had more than half the yardage of rushing. And even the passing yards, he was right at 100 yards passing, I believe, or 99 yards passing, something like that. And we had 212. He was almost 50% of the passing yards. I mean, but time of possession, we dominated. We had 36 minutes time of possession. They only had 23.
Well, you're right in your
that's
take
because you throw a pick six. That's no time of possession. So, you know,
I understand that, but with the time of possession, we should have scored more, which we didn't. We just could not do anything in the red zone.
Yep. Those stats are shocking.
And there was only actually one pick six.
Right. But when you throw a pick six, there's no time of possession for Buffalo. We get the ball right back. So,
Yeah, and I understand that. But when there's time of possession dominance like that, usually the one who has the most time of possession is going to be the one who wins the game. It was total.
Yes and no, because when you have that many turnovers, they say win the turnover battle, you win the game.
And that's what killed us is the turnovers.
And think about it, there's 4 turnovers because we turned it over once when we didn't convert on a fourth down.
Oh no, more than that. We had 4 fourth down turnovers.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
So you want to look at it like that. Yeah, we were only 1 of 5 on fourth down efficiency.
Well, a stat I would like to know is how many times did our defense hold them, bring up fourth down, and there was a flag? Because there was a lot of that. That always happens, especially against Buffalo.
And see, and this is what kills me. The very next day, when you go to look at the passing, rushing, receiving stats for the players, Dolphins already the very next day already took that down off their board. You can't. I
I couldn't
still
believe
can't look at
it.
it.
I couldn't believe it when you showed me that. When you sat there and told me that, that Friday morning, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
And
I
why?
mean, I still can't look at it. I can look at the box score. I can look at the drives, but it will not show me the stats. And it's been that way since Friday.
That
Either
seems
they're
crazy.
either they're that ashamed of it or something.
Wouldn't you?
You know what though? I would leave it up to maybe force these players to look at it and say we got to do better.
Right. Well, they need to look at themselves, watch themselves, and then look themselves in the mirror and, figure out whether, what kind of player they are. That was a total
Scotty, on the stats, I was just trying to look at the individual player stats, which I can't look them up on the regular Miami Dolphins app. I have to look them up elsewhere.
That's probably because HN was the one with the stats on offense, and
yeah.
For the most part, he had about 170 total yards of offense between receiving and rushing.
And it was like an island out there, like a man on an island, or he is an island. That was just shameful. Did anybody see the pictures that I put up? I put them up on Facebook of Tua. Remember I was telling you last night about the way he was doing his mouth? And
No,
it was,
I remember you saying something about it,
yeah,
but
it was clear he was still suffering from some type of
the morning
spasm.
Jack Siegel, yeah.
Hey, Jack. Yeah, it was clear.
Yeah, as Scotty's saying, Chan is our RB1. Time to tell Mercer he isn't, and Wright should be number 2. Well, that's the way it is going to be until Mostert gets better, and hopefully he can perform like he did last year somewhat. I know Chan's got 2 touchdowns already this year, 1 in each game. It's not saying much, don't get me wrong, but he's well on his way to going over the over-under for his touchdowns this year, which is 7.5.
Well, and I'd be hesitant to take anything away from Mostert because in my book, Mostert always plays hard.
Oh yeah, no, he does. He's
The
just
hard yard.
he's injured right now until he
Yes.
can come back.
Yeah.
But Lisa and Jack both said they saw what you were saying.
Yes. Yes, I think I saw their response or their, to the post. I saw them on there. But yeah, it was weird and he kept doing it, and a lot of people I guess thought he was actually smiling, but he didn't look like he knew anything that was going on in my estimation. So Papa Paul with those stats. It is very interesting. They took down the
The player
single
stats.
player stats.
Yeah.
Very interesting. You know, that they did that because that doesn't, like you said, they're, want to hide it or whatever. They
I have
can't
no
hide. We all
idea.
saw the game. So
Yeah.
what are you hiding? you know, we saw who did what. I don't know. They think we're going to forget. I don't know. Sometimes I think they just don't show enough respect to us as fans and people that know football. I
Yeah.
mean,
Chan had 96 yards in receiving and 69 yards in rushing. So he had 175 yards or 165, no, 175 yards. No, 165 yards total. His longest rush was 16 yards. His longest receiving was 17 yards.
good morning, Vamos Gatos. Good morning. Good morning, Scotty.
Yeah, they say they're still working with Patrick Paul. I believe he should be starting, not Liam or Lamb. But I seen an article that's saying a lot of these players, it's going to be week 6 or week 7 when we come back after our bye week. We'll be getting a lot more players back. Hopefully that helps. I don't know where we're going to be after last night's show and just seeing a lot of things. As long as he clears medical, I believe Tua is going to be back. I don't know what to say to that, really. I mean, I want him back, but I want him back healthy. And for him to stay healthy, I think he's going to have to wear that Guardian cap. And that's not 100% guaranteed.
No. And if you look at when he hits his head, I don't know if his helmet's too big, but it seems like his head bounces around inside the helmet.
His head was ajar in the helmet. I seen that too, John. I'm happy that you brought that up. His
Yeah, I mean,
head definitely was ajar in the helmet.
yeah, when it hit the ground, his head goes forward before the helmet moves, and there's space within inside the helmet. So I don't know if he doesn't like it tight or but it's there to
And
protect it, and you got to wear it properly.
yeah, exactly. It's not supposed to be loose fitting
But if you
by
go
any
back and
means.
look at the replay when his head hits the ground, his head bounces forward before the helmet moves. Then I went back and watched the other ones. Same thing. His head always moves before the helmet. If the helmet is tight, they should be moving together.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that, but wow, what a thing
Um,
to notice, guys. I appreciate you bringing that out. I didn't see it.
As Scotty's saying here, his guess is Tua is out 3 to 6 months. No doctor's going to clear him sooner and put their license on the line. Well, that's not necessarily true. If he passes all the cognitive tests, they're going to clear him.
The league is going to look at this as a magnifying glass towards the Miami Dolphins organization and to its issue and status as of now. This is just how I'm looking at it. This is not the thoughts of anybody else up here. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know a few people on this panel last night said the same thing that I'm about to say. Roger Goodell was at that game. If y'all think that this is going to be okay, he's going to just go through the 5 steps and he's going to be in the field within the next couple of weeks, you got to be kidding me. It is not going down like that. I am preparing myself, and I'm hopefully as fans, I would hope for people to prepare themselves to sit there and try to find another quarterback. I don't see Tua coming back on this field before the end of the season. I just don't. I
I
don't.
agree with you, Saul, 100%, and I don't see him taking the field again. That what we saw, I know there's levels of concussions. Concussions are never good, but the way his brain has been affected, it is not your average concussion. He is having, there was a doctor, I forget what type of concussion he said it was a certain type, and he said that once a person has had one of those and they have it again, that severe um injury and even death are um very likely. You can't do that to yourself again ever.
Okay, Scotty says North Carolina doctor lost his license. This has already happened, Paul. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but if Tua can clear all this cognitive testing, they're going to clear him to play. It's plain and simple. I mean, it's all going to depend on if he can clear the cognitive testing or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the cognitive testing can actually show, fully the damage that has been there. I know.
The only way it's going to show any damage is through the MRI, CAT scan, and all that. And that's only going to say if there's an abnormality going on in the brain at this point in time, which might not show up. And just like a CTE, you can't tell if this person has a CTE until after death.
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to be fun. I'm not going to say it's going to be nice. It is what it is. And I'm sure you know, Pam, as well as I do, going through all these tests don't show a lot of stuff.
Correct. You got to do the right test to find out the answer for certain things.
And
you're not looking for everything, you won't.
And it's just like Big E has been having a lot of stomach issues and stuff, and has been going through test after test after test, and no one can tell him anything. And he's finally had a test done that showed him some things that is helping out.
That really is the worst thing, when they tell you there's nothing.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Welcome, Shake Money.
Shake, good morning, brother. What's going on?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, I remember getting a CAT scan. They said it was empty.
Well, I believe that.
That explains a lot.
They should have done one of your ass. They'd have seen your brain.
They should have done one on your right hand and seen the big spoon in there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, yo.
Well, Pam, send me to your guy, because I know that's where you get your CAT scans.
Yeah. Little too late there, Shake.
You know,
when you roll out the red carpet, we're gonna walk on it. Just saying.
I'll be the first one to admit I was saying that they're going to have another quarterback in here by Monday, Tuesday at the latest. At this point in time, I honestly don't know what they're going to do.
They got to do something. I know that for a fact. Because right now it's Skylar Thompson and Boyle as your depth chart as quarterbacks.
And I understand that. But if there's a possibility at all Tua is coming back, do you really think they're going to go out and sign a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Tannehill, a Jameis Winston, or anything?
Oh, and do we have the money to do it?
Right.
Thank you.
Well, and that's where it comes down to the contract. It's stating, well, we're going to give him a signing bonus, but take it out over so many years and stuff, and it's all in the contract wording, which we know Chris Greer is a master of writing contracts, but who knows?
It needs to be predicated on performance as well.
And Scotty says we have money.
Hey, they were going to try to roll that over into next season.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to see somebody, like I said last night, like Sam Howell. I
Well, I
like
mean,
how aggressive he is.
it doesn't matter who we get. If we get anybody, it's a matter, are they going to actually do it or not?
They better do something.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Just like we said all off season, we should get this offensive lineman. We should get this offensive lineman. They ain't getting any.
yeah.
Lisa,
Well,
I think so.
yeah. I do you think he'll play with more hesitancy and that other teams may play dirty and be out for blood? I don't know. No, I don't think other teams will necessarily be out for blood because as if you heard the interviews with a lot of Buffalo Bill players, they were hoping he would slide.
Yeah.
Now here's something else that I learned watching one of the NFL sports shows and stuff, and I forget which one it was, but it was in the last couple of years they've changed the rule on the slide and head first. It doesn't matter where you start your slide. Once you start your slide, you're down, but they said it's the same thing for a quarterback if they go head first. Once they start to go down, that's where they mark the ball dead. So either way, whether you slide or go head first, you're down once you start that. So it wouldn't have mattered whether he went head first or slid. It's going to matter where he started at, whether he got the first down or not.
Yeah, where the ball is when he starts it. So when you go to slide, clearly the ball would be further back than when
yes
you
and
go
no,
head
depending
first.
on how they slide, how far they lean back and stuff.
Right.
But sometimes they just drop to their knees sliding.
Yeah.
And I mean, with his history, he's going to have to do nothing but sliding if he comes back at all.
You know,
Scotty
one
says
thing-
refs are still giving head first slides a touch. Look at Lawrence week 1. He got the first on a head first slide. They marked it at the defense touch. Okay, but I guess they're not going by the rule change then. Or the NFL staff was wrong when they stated that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
remember him changing the head first slide. The head first slide is when you get touched.
Well, I don't know. I'm just going by what I heard. And
Yeah,
like
no,
I
I don't ever remember him changing that part. If you go feet first, it's where the ball is as you go down. When you go head first, it's when you get touched.
But
So-
either way, they're gonna have to look at doing something for now because I mean we have Thompson. Is he the tell-all? No, I don't think so. I love him. I love his play, but at the same time, Boyer is our backup, and at this point, and I don't see him being much of a backup.
You know what's crazy is Tua says, "Oh, I don't hear the noise," but at the end of the day, he does all these things because he wants to prove people wrong. Like, listen, you have nothing to prove to nobody. Quit trying to prove to people that you're doubters. Just play football instead of trying to go above and beyond to prove a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I hear you, Shake. I'll piggyback off of that. I hear what you're saying, Shake. But in that instance, we all knew what it was that night. That man threw 3 interceptions. You knew in his mind, he was like, I got to do something that's going to bring a spark to this team and to the fans or something. So he was already in the doghouse with the 3 interceptions. So when that play developed and we saw the green in front of him, we knew. I know anybody in here. When I seen it, I said he's going to run, and we all knew he was going to run. And and when he did, the inevitable happened, and he tried to make a play where he made the first down. But to what extent are we now? You see what we're talking about? We're talking about this man maybe having to retire. So I understand what you're saying, Shake. I understand what a lot of people say because I've heard this point brought up a few times. on a few different podcasts and even on different analysis shows and stuff like that. That is the Warriors mentality. Those men out there are warriors. They take this seriously. They know for a fact if they fuck up, they are going to find a way to try to sit there and do whatever it takes to save the game for either side. So I can understand where you're coming from, but from a warrior standpoint, a competitor standpoint, if you know you're having a shitty game, it doesn't matter what sport it is, you're going to try your best to sit there and make something happen. And that's what he tried to do. But at what cost?
Well, if I can also piggyback off of what Shake said, one thing is when you have health issues, and I can tell you I've been diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and a couple other autoimmune diseases for 25 years. And if I have a couple of good days, do you know I kind of forget? Even after all of these years, I forget. He's in the moment. He's, trained for this his whole life. You kind of just get into automatic, right? And I think that can happen easily to someone. He's in the game moment, the heat of the moment. He's going to make a play. You don't really think about your issues if they're not right in front of your face at that moment.
Well, you have to forget about it because if you don't, you're going to play scared.
Absolutely.
And what's the saying? Don't work harder, work smarter, and that's how it is. Don't play harder, play smarter. At the end of the day, it's the regular season. You still had 16 more games. Even if you did, let's say, you had 3 interceptions, you had a bad game, you still had 16 more games to try to risk your brain for one down. Is looking back at it, you'd be like, God damn, what the fuck did I do? You still had 16 more games to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cap for like both Waddle and Cheetah less than 100 yards combined. Yeah, we know.
Now, I can see. Listen, I can see if the playoffs were on the line, or this was a playoff game or the Super Bowl. Yeah, I would. But it's one game. You still, like I said, we're still in the infancies of the season.
I hear what you're saying, Shake, but that one game is against your divisional opponent, and it's against the Buffalo Bills, and he was talking big, like a lot of our players was talking big. And he was saying the things that we wanted to hear our quarterback speak on before the game. So I get what you're saying. I get it's week 2. I get that. But you got to understand, it don't matter if it's the first game, preseason game, this game, that game. You're going to have that mentality. I got to do my job, and I got to get it done. And that's just with anything. So I understand what you're saying. I understand that you're saying he had 16 more games to go, and he should have maybe thought differently. But at that moment in time, the thing he was thinking about was getting that first down or trying to make a play so we could sit and get back in the game. And nobody thinks about that at that moment in time. It was his instinct at that moment to sit there and try to make a play. So I get what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. But in the same token, in the same sense, on the flip side, you got to think of it that way. It don't matter. It don't matter if it was a practice shot. You're gonna sit there and want to see that execute to the fullest extent. So.
But as for the other players, that weren't given 150%, that little amount of yards between those two wide receivers, that's embarrassing. For them to shut down.
And by the way, a lot of people don't give credit to Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith played his ass off in that game too.
He did great.
Yeah,
yes,
he did.
That's another name.
He did. But it's just, I think us as fans, we're just, I think, really just distraught, upset. Good morning, Maria. Upset, distraught. Like we're in a state of crisis here. Like real rap. As Miami Dolphin fans, we are in crisis mode. Period. And rightfully so, especially with what we thought that our season, an outlook that we thought our season was going to look like. And we're looking after we're in week 2, still in week 2. And it's like, what do we do from there? Because now it's like, everybody's saying he'll be back. Some people say he won't be back. Some people want him to retire. Some people saying don't retire. I mean, that is going to be discussed. That's going to be the discussion with the Miami Dolphins. I know the game still got to be played, but we're going to automatically know that they're going to talk about Tua first and foremost in the forefront of our team, because he is still as of now the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, and to your point about the crisis mode, the thing is this mode feels so familiar, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the part I think that makes this particular crisis mode so bad, is it feels familiar. And it's like, not again. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
I'm really believing about the Indian, us building on that Indian burial ground. I really believe that we're actually cursed. I was not trying to really believe that, but I really am really starting to believe that we shouldn't have built that stadium on the Native American ground. I really am starting to feel that way, yo. And I don't like to do superstitions and stuff like that, but sheesh.
No, I honestly think you could just look at decisions that have been made and just go, yep, there's why. Yep, that's why. Yep. Over and over again, you can just see, you make wrong decisions, you're going to have bad outcomes. And I think, several things not being taken care of in the off season for years. That's why we have what we have. It's not an Indian burial ground. I'm Native American. I ain't mad.
I know you're not mad, but it's some hey Pam, it's some spirits out there that's pissed off at us, and they are not letting it go. I'm telling you.
Good morning,
Hey, listen.
good morning, Maria. Thank you for joining the show.
I have a question.
Good
morning, everybody.
If they're mad at the Dolphins, how come they weren't mad at the Marlins and they got 2 World Series?
They
There
must
you
have sat there and
go.
the
Hey.
Marlins did something right, bro. Because I don't know, we have not broken this curse
Hey.
since.
But the ironic part, the Marlins got their first World Series against the Cleveland Indians.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, I don't believe in no stinking curse. That takes a lot of power out of people's hands who have the power to do something.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna give you a Red Foreman quote. All right. His son went to Red and said, "Dad, why do I have bad luck?" And he told his son, he goes, "Son, the reason you don't have bad luck, the reason bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass."
I agree, Timothy. We will overcome. Yep.
How you doing, Maria?
I'm doing okay, guys. Good morning, Miss
You're
Pam.
still sleeping
Good morning,
too.
everyone.
Good morning.
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 Good to hear you. See you, hear you. We're in the same shape here.
Yeah, I need to get my ass in motion and get to work.
I hear you. Ugh, that dreaded word, work.
Mm.
Hey, Jack.
Work is a 4-letter word. Quit swearing.
Mhm.
Hey, luck is a 4-letter word too.
That's funny.
And so's love.
There you go.
And sure as hell is hope. But I'm giving up on that right now.
We were just saying that, Maria, like, it feels like we're in crisis mode, right?
I've seen things go down the drain, but not that fast.
Right. Agreed.
Well, I have, but not with the Dolphins.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was like a black hole swallowed us.
Because it went down extremely fast last year for the Jets.
That's true.
in the second game, same thing.
No,
Oh,
that was
man.
the first
Same
No,
thing.
it was the first game.
That was the
No, it was
first
the
game
first
for them
game.
last
Yeah,
year.
Aaron went down in the first
Yeah.
game. Yes, because we were in Cali. Yep,
Yeah, it was the first game.
yep. We were in Cali when it happened.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself because I actually said, you know what, I'm going to watch this game just because it's Aaron Rodgers, it's our competitors, it's a division, like a divisional opponent. And when I seen it went down, I'm like, you don't ever want to see. And this is, listen, this is all Miami Dolphins to the side. You never want to see another team's player and or their quarterback go down. We all know how important quarterback position is to any team. It don't matter what you have on the outside, inside, whatever. If you do not have the facilitator to get that ball out to those position players, you are, what are you? Nothing. Like literally, it is going to be a long, long season.
But the word you saw was good. The word facilitator. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a dominator. If you have good people around you, you can have a facilitator. And I think we can come up with a facilitator. And I'm with Evelyn. We're not going to give up. We're certainly, like I said, this feels so familiar. And never, ever did I sit there and think, well, our season's over. It's done. I just can't think that way about the Dolphins. I cannot think that way.
Everybody has a right to think the way they want to think. That's just my feelings. That's what's my takes on it. I respect how you feel. I respect everybody how they feel on this panel. But me, hold on, Paul. But for me right now, which I think we've all watched a lot of Miami Dolphin footage and interviews and stuff like that. They tell you how sophisticated this system is to learn. You cannot just sit there and plug a quarterback in here right away and think that you're just going to get results right from the door. It's very sophisticated. It's very complex. And McDaniel, as a whole, is going to have to sit there and what's the name? He is going to have to find a way to get a jump start on this offense without two at the moment. How is that going to look like? How is it going to look like with Skylar Thompson being the starting quarterback in a hostile Seattle stadium, which is very hard to play in because the 12th man is for real. It's a lot of variables going into next week, going all the way out there to play them. It really is.
I'm gonna. I understand what you're saying, but and don't get me wrong, Skylar, yes, he has some issues. But remember, he brought us to a playoff 2 years ago against a hostile stadium. And we came within 3 of winning that game. And I don't feel that he can't do it. He has really he wasn't looking at being a starting quarterback with Tua. Now he knows this is what he's got to do. And he will step up to the plate because we believe in him.
Yeah.
If he hears all the negativity and everything, they hear what we say. We've got to stop the shit and negativity. All of us fans. Because they feel it.
I
mean,
agree with you, Maria, very much.
We have been in that hostile stadium many times, but we can't give up. It's our team.
That's right. And I see the Seattle game as a very winnable game. Very winnable. We have a good defense, a very good defense. They got Gino. I mean, let's go out there and dominate and, do what we can on offense, but dominate on defense. There's a lot our defense can do to keep us in that game and push us through that game. I see that game, like I said, is very, very winnable. I am not going into next Sunday thinking, oh, well, here we go.
Well,
Just not doing it.
I'm going to state here, as Hooked Up Joe stated, using the great words of the bearded wonder, we are in a wait and see mode. Time to just be a fan and go for whatever ride comes our way.
That's it. That's
Thank
all we
you.
can
I'm
do.
glad
And
that.
just
Thank
let
you.
them know that we're behind them no matter what. It doesn't, our team doesn't consist of one player. We have a whole team that has to come together. And if they come together the way they need to, we can win the game.
Maria,
It
I respect
doesn't fall on one quarterback.
That's right.
I respect everything that you're saying, Maria, but in the same sense, the X's and O's still have to be played, and it's the mentality of those players. Are they sitting there thinking the same things? Are they saying the same things that you're saying right now? That is the big question mark. That is
They
it.
have
What
to
is the
be.
mentality? No, wait, no, they don't. That's up to them. They're grown ass men. They can do whatever they want. And I respect everything that you're saying. But here's the thing. We don't know what's going through their minds. We have no idea what's going through their thoughts. We have no idea what they're doing as we speak right now. So it's good to say it, and I'm all aboard on what you're saying. But the question mark is, how is the morale in that locker room and in that organization is going on as we speak right now? That's a big question mark.
And I
They
think what
better
the
get it
morale
together.
is in that locker room right now is, my feeling is, they're gonna do it for Tua because of the respect they have for that man as a human being. They are going to come together and they are gonna do what they need to do for Tua. They're not gonna let that man down.
I think they
I
need to do
pray.
it for
I,
their fans, for the
They
people
will
that have
do it for their
supported
fans,
them.
but they're gonna
They
do it for
need to.
Tua before they do it for their fans.
Oh, probably. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all, but they owe the fans. They owe us. You have a job because of us. I
Yes.
mean,
We pay
we've
the
supported.
salaries.
That's right. I mean, and we stand behind them no matter what. I got a
Right.
lot of criticism for the way they played Thursday night. A lot. And I rarely um come down on our team, rarely. But I got a lot of criticism towards them, and they need to step up, be professionals, do their job, and realize that they have this job because of us.
Yes. I personally feel Thursday night, nobody did their job. It wasn't just Tua. Nobody
Right.
did their job except for one person. One
which
person, one team player carried that game Thursday night.
We were
And that
just
was A.
saying the same
And that
thing
was A-Chain.
earlier. Yep.
Nobody else did anything.
We
even
were
all right,
talking
so Maria,
about
I got a question. I got a question for you, Maria. Do you feel after the first interception, do you feel like it just seemed like the energy was completely changed in the game?
I'm
After the
going to
first
tell you straight out. I personally feel that Tua wasn't in that game when he walked out of that locker room.
okay.
I personally feel Tua was injured before he walked out of that locker room. And
I
he
couldn't
wasn't going to
mind you.
let the Bills get the best of him.
Yep.
So I
Lisa down
personally
in the
feel because he was totally off. Tua played that game as it was his first year as a quarterback.
I
And
agree.
then,
And Lisa down in the comments, she has been saying, she said it last night and she said it this morning, that she thought he got hurt in the previous game and she pulled up
yes,
a video. And so, what you're saying, Maria, I think is spot on 100%.
he was hurt before he walked out, but he wasn't going to not get on the field with the Bills. Because you got to remember, every game that he wound up out for the season was the Bills that took him out.
Yeah.
The Bills took him out with broken ribs. The Bengals took him out with a head injury. But then last year, the Bills tried taking him out too. But he came back out after halftime.
Yep.
There was no way he wasn't getting on the field against the Bills.
Yep.
So I personally feel he was hurt before he walked out on that field.
You know, mm,
And if he
He
was,
didn't
then,
look
then
sharp the
shame
whole
on him
game.
for going out there.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sean.
everybody, we have only
But
10
that's
minutes
his
left of the
mentality.
show.
His life
Well, I
is
get that, but it's shame on him if he knew he was hurt for going out there, because now he's putting the whole season at risk.
right.
and he's putting his life at risk though too.
Right.
Absolutely.
So shame on him
The
if he
season,
knew.
you look at his life. He's got 2 kids and 2 on the way. And he still put his life. He could have died,
Yeah.
but he still
Absolutely.
walked out on that field. For the season, he still put his life on his line against his family. That's the way I look at it. The man's got a lot of heart. And yeah,
Oh, he does.
he
I'm not.
screwed up.
I'm not questioning that at all. I don't think anybody's
Okay.
questioning that on the panel.
Real quick, everyone, we have less than 10 minutes left of the show. If you're on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, if you have, thank you. Thank you for everyone joining us, watching us, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Huddle Sports Network. But make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, folks. Please, we appreciate you. Every little bit helps.
All right, guys, I got to get in the shower. I got to go to work. Fins up.
Have a good day, Maria.
Fins
Fins up.
up,
Peace, love,
Maria.
fins up.
Hands up.
Later, guys.
Later.
Later.
Later. Yeah, so I've been seeing some comments flashing up, and I know a lot of people disagree, with what we're saying, but of course you have a right to your opinion, obviously, but I think he was hurt too. I've seen 2 different things that look like he could have gotten hurt or might have been hurt in the previous game, as well as in something may have happened at practice. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think his health, the state of his health, is that his head is like a fragile egg. Like he just can't keep doing what he's doing. Hey, Ethan.
What's up,
What's up,
Ethan? How are
brother?
you, brother?
It's good to see Ethan, man. We miss you, Ethan, definitely, and I'm happy that he posted this.
NFL's network. Ian Rappaport. Huh. Is this, so to me, you know what this sounds like? Eric was saying it last night. CYA. That's
Cover
what that
your
sounds
ass.
like to me. Mm-hmm. Yep, CYA. NFL's going to put out stuff, so they're covered no matter what.
Absolutely. You got to think about this. This league has been magnified. I think John brought up the point the other night that this league has been magnified due to the fact of the concussion protocol. And this has always been a problem. This has been a problem for a minute now. This is not something that's been a problem for maybe a year or 2 years. We're talking about almost 20 years, maybe longer than that they've been sitting there getting scrutinized on how they have been handling concussion protocol. Have they been getting better with it as time? Yes, they have. But now this is definitely going to be a magnifying glass, not just to the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be a magnifying glass to the NFL. And like everybody said, a few people said on here, that when it comes to a point where the NFL, the Shield, the reputation of the Shield is in question, I'm going to tell you this right now. The NFL will make something go away real fast, real quick.
Yep. Circle the wagons and CYA. That is exactly when they start putting out stuff like what the comment that Ethan brought to us. When you see that, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Hey, it's like what my boss, Ethel, God rest her soul, she used to tell me. She goes, Anthony, I love you, but when it comes to my ass or your ass, it's going to be your ass.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
That's the way it works.
Well, as Color says, the question is not for this season, not next. It's Tua could come back, but will he come back this season? Or next? It's they might not let him come back this season. Tell him to come back next year. Who knows? No one's going to know it until it happens.
Well, that's a good point. And as long as you keep saying tomorrow,
Tomorrow never comes.
Exactly.
Absolutely, and that's very well said. I know. Just me as a fan of this team, I pray for Tua. I pray for his family. I pray for whatever decision he decides to make. I pray it works out for him.
Bye, Lisa.
That's how I look at it. I know we're going to be talking about this for a very, very, very long time. There is life after Tua, and there is life. There is other Miami Dolphin football that we're going to have to sit there and discuss. But I'll say this: I'm just going to pray for that man and hope that man makes the right decision for himself and his family first and foremost.
Yep, I agree.
Well, any decision he makes, whether it's the player to retire, he's going to tell you that's the right decision for him.
Correct.
But if the point Color was making, maybe not this year, but next year, that as long as that's out there and a possibility in his future, that may be enough for him for a while. You know what I mean? Like as long as it's not completely taken off the table, he may be able to deal with that better.
Here you go. This one's for you from Ethan, Pamela. If they don't let him come back this year, I want to make a move for Sam Howell for the rest of the season. If Tua is out for extended periods.
Yes. So Ethan had made a post, and I had made a separate post, and we were talking about Sam Howell. And then I saw his post. I was like, yes, Ethan and I are on the same page when it comes to Sam Howell. I think that would be a great decision. Hey, C Devil. Hey, Mike K.
Thank you, Evelyn. Appreciate you, hon.
Color.
All right, we got.
We have 2 minutes basically. Any last words from anybody for anything? Jake, what you got coming up this week?
Thank you for allowing me to have my cup of coffee and giving my 2 cents. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on, Shake.
Yes, guys, thank you so much. This is definitely a time we all have so much to say and so many feelings about our team. And yes, we're all in our feelings. All I can hear is Lewis singing feelings. But thank you so much, guys, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And as always, peace, love, and fins up.
Peace, love,
fins up.
Fins up, everybody. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to y'all soon.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.